Here's how to make a Hangman word guessing game with Lua and TIC-80. First, boot up a new TIC-80 cartridge and start writing the code. I just write mine in VS Code and paste it when I'm ready. Start off with a list of words in a table. Then create a table with all of the letters in the alphabet separated by commas. We'll need this later along with these global game variables. Now create your main TIC loop. This is called once per frame, so it's basically your main game loop. Add a simple start menu and then a simple input handler to start the game from the menu by changing the state to play, which is then checked by this to begin drawing the game screen. A function is needed to initialize the word for the current game and reset other game variables, and then we need to randomly pick one of the words from our list. When start new game is called, the variable w will call the genWord function to set the secret word. Now we need to create our main drawing function for the game. Be sure to clear the screen first and then draw a few rectangles for our gallows or whatever you want to call it that our man will hang from. We can also print w here really quickly to make sure that it's generating a word properly. Wow, okay, looks cool. Now we need to handle keyboard input, which is not supported natively in TIC-80 as far as I know, so we'll need to do it ourselves. The check key function will look through all of the letters in our alphabet list and then return the letter that corresponds with the number code of the key that was pressed, 1 through 26, with A being 1 and Z being 26. We now need to check if that letter was actually a letter and also not nothing, and if it wasn't, we need to check it as a guess. In the handle guess function, it's first best to convert the letter to lowercase. We could have done that before, but this is a good way to learn about this method in Lua. Then we insert the letter into the guessed letters table. If the letter was not a secret word, then add 1 to wrong guesses. But we also need to make sure that the letter was not already guessed, and we'll need to create a helper function called contains to check if a value is present in a table to do that. And now we can use that contains function once again to help display the correct letters and the unguessed letters using this kind of tricky loop. This loop essentially looks through the guessed letters and then reveals them in the word, or else it just puts a blank underscore. Now we can guess the letters and they'll show up if they're right. But we've already started tracking their wrong guesses, so we can really easily use TIC-80's sprite editor to draw some Hangman body parts and then check the wrong guesses to decide how many to display. We can also throw in a simple endgame and retry handler here, although it's probably best to do this in a different function. Now we can lose, but we can't win. All we need to do is add a win check to our guess handler. This works similarly to our word display and essentially just checks to see if the letters in the guessed letters table match the letters in the secret word. Then we just need to draw a win screen and add a handler for the win state in the tick loop. It's also helpful to show the total list of guessed letters for the user using table.concat. Now you can win, lose, and retry. You can keep expanding this by adding new words, different difficulties, hints, animations, whatever you want. Let me know what you come up with.